We've started off on a bit of a red note for the weekend, and that's not really surprising because the weekends as of late have kind of sucked. The things that have been helping us during the week carry prices to the upside are not present. We don't have high volume, we don't have institutional players, so it just kind of falls on the back of retail, and retail has been just looking weak as of late. And it's funny because retail tends to lose during these times time and time again. And what we're actually looking for Shiba Inu is something very specific that looks like it's actually becoming in the very short term. We're going to talk about that in this video, as well as highlight just a few other good things that are going on from a much broader perspective. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So understand that yes, today is red. It sucks. I hate red days. It's days of opportunity if you're looking to accumulate. And what I'm watching right now across the space is just this sea of red where Shiba Inu is actually having a pretty modest day overall. When we look at most other assets in the space, you see somewhere between 3 to 5% discounted today. SHIB's only down about 2.4%. So it's outperforming a lot of assets in the market. And I'm going to say outperforming because, it's red. Anyways, what is really causing the red across the space today is one, BTC is down about 1%. Two, Ethereum's down about 1%. It's very hard for other assets to show confidence when the two big dogs in the space are basically crapping the bed. And that's kind of where we're at this weekend, because again, we have low volume overall, $75 billion in daily trading volume over the last 24 hours. Meme coins in general have been kind of flat. You guys can see just mostly red almost anywhere you look here. That's not really surprising per se. But what I will say is a promising sign is institutional money has been showing a lot of strength during the week. So not only have spot Bitcoin ETFs been printing a lot of green, on the weekly, we've seen 2 huge green weeks. And when we look at spot Ethereum ETFs, hopefully I didn't repeat myself there, spot Ethereum ETFs, 2 solid green weeks here as well. This week turned out to be $106 million worth of Ethereum added to institutional players' bags. So we're seeing very distinct trends there, and this is why we're seeing a lot of green during the week. So this weekend could actually be another huge opportunity to build positions heading into what could be a very lively week as well. A couple other good things that are taking place. Like I talked about in my ADA video earlier today, we had another big week for the stock market. We actually had the 9th consecutive day of gains in terms of the S&P 500. It's the longest winning streak in over 20 years. But on the trade side, we have Canada coming to the U.S. for negotiations with Donald Trump. We have China potentially coming to the U.S. for trade negotiations with Donald Trump. So there's a lot of good progress that's being made currently, and that can create a lot of confidence in the markets. All right. Now, this isn't a guarantee. Nobody knows what's going to happen for sure. And I have to say that, and just to give you guys some context of this right here, the inverse Kramer could be in effect. Jim Cramer said we're not going into a recession. Maybe we are, right? We'll see what happens. But what we're kind of watching here is the holding time of transacted coins. We've had just a little bit more capitulation as of late. On the 30th, we actually had a 7-month average hold time of transacted coins, which was a big spike once again. So people just capitulating, retail just funding themselves out of their bag. Go figure. Yesterday was actually a 2-month average hold time. So again, just short-term capitulation. Luckily, long-term holders continue to show resilience. That's why SHIB has had such a strong floor. Now, that being said, again, yesterday was another ad day for whales. It was pretty small, 4.26 billion, but again, an ad day nonetheless. Now, the piece de resistance, the big thing we're waiting for here. I keep looking at this stochastic RSI, and I'm noticing a very distinct trend. And what we're waiting for right now is this to reach the oversold range and for it to start to flip the signal line. Now, why this is important is when this happens, that is when SHIB starts to make some of these runs. You guys can see back here in March of 2025, back here in the early part of April of 2025. It had it putts around along with it for a little bit. But when this happens, when you start to get these flips, that is when SHIB starts to make some of these more aggressive runs to the upside. So what we could actually see here is SHIB kind of trend sideways through the weekend and into the early part of the week. We could in fact see this stochastic RSI kind of dip down into these ranges, start to flip. And that might be where SHIB begins to take this next leg and set a slightly higher high. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. This is just what I'm seeing potentially happen. Understand that this week we're going to have an FOMC meeting, which there is not a very high likelihood of a rate cut coming. And the market already knows this. This should already be priced into the crypto market. So we just have to be patient and watch and wait. We need trends to be consistent. All right. Trends have in fact been good. Yes, even though this week was a red week overall, when we look at Shiba Inu, we're down about 2% in terms of this week. Actually, what's crazy is SHIB was having a green week up until today. So yeah, up until today's candle. So maybe that flips around. Maybe we close this on a green note again. But you're starting to see some very positive signs. You're starting to see SHIB kind of have those building blocks for this next leg. That is the most important thing. And understand that these things take time. We're still in a time where there's been a lot of uncertainty. We've been dealing with a lot of the negative reports. Yesterday's jobs report, for those that missed it, it was kind of a surprise report. It was showing actually a resilient job market instead of a cooling job market like some had been portraying. But things are in fact getting better, but it takes time to get there. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.